And welcome everybody, it's Dan. Hope you're well today. Welcome to the podcast show. So in this session, I want to talk about motivation, and in particular, the reason why motivation keeps seeming to disappear. We start off full of gusto. We know what we want. We're going to go out there. We're going to go and get it done. And we've got a list of things to do. And then we start doing that work. And then for some reason, we just fall off track. Something else comes up. Something distracts us. A conversation throws us off. A comment from a complete and utter stranger online just comes and completely knocks our train of thought. And so the question then becomes, how do you keep up with the motivation? And I think it was Zig Ziglar. He said something similar to motivations like being clean. You have to bathe daily in it. And that's the same for motivation. You have to bathe daily in motivation. But when the motivation ends and you're just left with you and the task, I think that's the difficulty that people have. And the way to resolve that really is that you have to associate the behavior, the attitudes, the tasks to very specific goals. If the goal is too far away and too grandiose, 100 grand a month, let's say, all these little things that you need to do, that you know you need to do, they're just not going to get done because deep down, you know that this goal is too big and it's too far away. Now, don't get me wrong. I think having big, juicy, audacious goals, I think that's a wonderful thing to do. And we all should have them. But as well as those, you need these closer, smaller, closer to your type of goals that are achievable, usually within a month. And that's why we do the Forged in 30, which is our 30-day program. Starts on the 1st of each month and allows you to identify what the goals are, get them written down, identify the tasks, and off you go. And then we have weekly check-ins every Friday night to make sure that you're actually on track. We have a Q&A, so if you're getting stuck with anything, if you need advice on property or marketing or business or whatever that happens to be, mindset comes up quite a lot, then we're on hand in order to help you in a group setting. It works incredibly well. But you see, motivation, it's not just about discipline. It's not just about habits. It's not just about your early morning routine, up at 5 a.m. for a cold shower. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't need it. I do get up early, however, and the reason for that is simply because I have children. And if you've got children or you've had children, you know exactly what I mean. Like that sleeping in gene, as it's out, it's gone. It just doesn't exist anymore. This morning I was up at 6:30 a.m., which sounds really early. And now I'm saying it, I want to yawn. But actually, it wasn't that early. I got up, I got some work done, let the dog out, got my shower, got some work done, made all the stuff that I had to do for the day, all the tasks and so on. That was all planned out. And then I went to CrossFit at 8 o'clock, which is really cool because my early morning routine is a good one. It works very well for me. But I don't think you have to get up really, really early in order to get these amazing results. I was always laughing at, what's he called? Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. What's he called? Mark. It was in Transformers, and Mark Wahlberg. And he gets up at 4 a.m. Yeah, the dude goes to bed at 8 o'clock. What sort of life is that? Like, he might get up at 4 a.m. and work out 5 times a day or whatever it is that he used to do. But there's no social life there. Who is he seeing? Nobody's in bed for 8 o'clock. So I'm not convinced that that's the key. But I am convinced it's a number of different things. So it's not motivation, it's not habits, it's not discipline. It's about understanding those things as well as having a big enough goal, as well as having a small enough goal that is actually reachable and not completely so ridiculously audacious that you're never going to hit it. And then working out what are the micro steps that's going to actually get me to that end goal. And when you can do that and then you implement that, that's a good first step. But it's not the last step, it's just a good first step. Because deep down, ultimately, how you see yourself is going to make the difference between how much money you make and how little money you make, how much weight you gain and how little weight you gain, how much muscle you put on and how little muscle you put on. Your health in later life will basically depend largely, one, on genetics, obviously, right? But two is how you see yourself. So if you see yourself as being unhealthy, undoubtedly, that's how you're going to end up. Now, the question then becomes, can you change that? If you see yourself as being unhealthy and you start eating clean and you start going to the gym and you start hanging around with other people who do all of that kind of thing. I'll give you an example. So we did a workout this morning. It was a really hard workout. It was hang power cleans, 10 of those, 10 front squats, and then 10 handstand push-ups. That was round 1. And then round 2, the same again, but 8 handstand push-ups. Round 3, the same, but 6, 4, and last round was 2 handstand push-ups, but you're still doing the 10 of everything else. It was an incredibly challenging workout, and I wanted to give up. I think we had a 13-minute time cap. Maybe it was 15-minute time cap. 1 round per minute. I finished with about 30 seconds, 45 seconds left. And I just wanted to give up. But as I'm looking at all the other people who are not giving up, who are finishing and using the weights that I'm using, and I'm like, I'm not going to let them beat me. And so it changed how I thought, because the environment is one of those things that changes how you see yourself and how you turn up and how you behave. And so you got a whole bunch of things like habits, decisions, experiences, environment, values, standards, how you see yourself, self-talk. When you bang, in the office when Ricky Gervais and he bangs his knee and then he goes, oh, and he tries to kick the desk, like, oh, he's such an idiot. Like, we all say stuff like that to ourselves, but really, our unconscious mind is listening to all that stuff. It's not a good thing for us to do. We'd never say that to a child if they did something wrong. Why would we say it to ourselves? And yet we do, don't we? It's just bizarre that we do things like that. But it's true. It's exactly what we do. And so what we end up with then is this, we call it an identity. And your identity will basically dictate whether you're going to be successful, whether you're going to be healthy or not, whether your relationships are going to work. If you have an unhealthy identity and you think you're not worthy and you think you're not good enough and you think that you're not confident enough, then yes, all those things are accurate, because that is how you present to the world. That's how you present in work, in relationships, in working out, that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that you're not strong enough. Whereas if you look at something and change that, let's say it's working out, and so change the way you're saying it to yourself, I'm not strong enough yet. Next month, 2 months after, in 6 months, these are my goals, these are my targets, this is the work that I need to do. It changes everything. And this self-talk and the way that we see ourselves is actually the biggest game changer that you can make right now. Is it more knowledge? It's not more knowledge. You've got all the knowledge you need. Let's face it, it's 2026. We have ChatGPT that is literally sat there ready to answer our every question about knowledge, no matter how ridiculous they sound. I dread to think what ChatGPT is doing in its down period when I'm not asking it very stupid questions. So it's not knowledge, because we have all the world's knowledge literally at our fingertips on our computers here. So it's not that. The difference is how we show up and who we are when we show up and how other people respond to you because of how you show up. So if you show up all timid and not confident, and you don't know your products and you don't know what your goals are, you will be swayed in any and all direction. And as entrepreneurs, we all know that that's our biggest Achilles heel. Oh, shiny butterfly. We have this, let's just say, easily distracted. When I think back to my school reports in maths, in mathematics, easily distracted, always looks out the window, bit of a daydreamer. And they were absolutely correct. Complete daydreamer. I dreamed of living overseas in Spain, walking along the beach, playing basketball in the morning, working out with my friends, playing volleyball at the weekends on the beach. Oh, what a surprise. That's exactly what we do. So there's nothing wrong with being a dreamer, as long as you're prepared to take the actions. And even then, it's not the actions, it's how you show up to those actions. I'll give you an example. If I asked you to draw an owl, you draw 2 circles, 2 ears, 2 big eyes, and a nose, and maybe some like curves for the feather for the arms. That's it. If you asked an artist to draw an owl, they would spend the next 7 hours or however long it's going to take them to draw that owl. And that's how most of us show up. When I say to people, you need to do this, this, and this, have you done them? And they go, yes. And I go, okay, show me what you've done. And I look at what I've asked them to do, and it's nothing like what was required, because the standards that they brought with them, the level of quality that they brought with them is too low. And you should be recognizing that most people show up with a quality and a standard that's too low. And if you just raise your standards, if you went that extra little bit of a mile, you don't even have to go the whole mile. You just have to, think about the high jump. I don't know what the high jump is. Let's just say it's 12 feet. I don't know what it is. If you can jump 12 feet and 1 inch, You don't have to jump 14 inch. If the world record is 12 inches, you don't have to jump 14 or 18 inches to beat that. You just have to jump 12 inches and, I don't know, 1 centimeter, whatever that's going to be. Like, you don't even have to be that much better, but your standards, if they're the same as everybody else, you're just continually going to get what everybody else gets. And that's not good enough. And that's why you need to step up. And the way that you see yourself has to be on a much higher pedestal than it is currently. And you might go, oh, well, that's too egotistical. And, oh, I don't want to be cocky. Who's talking about being egotistical or being cocky? What we're talking about is that the way you see yourself is that you are worthy. I say to my daughter on a regular basis, we were going to play volleyball, and she's like, well, what if somebody else wants to play while we're there? And I'm like, well, they'll have to wait because we got there first. Just like if we got there, we would have to wait until they finished. Never apologize for taking up space. I'm here, goddammit, and this is my space. And my space is getting bigger as we increase the number of views and the number of followers and the number of clients, the number of customers that sign up. If I apologize for the space that I'm taking up, none of that would happen. Just as if you apologize for the space that you take up right now, no one's going to sign up for that because you don't even feel like you belong. We belong. You and I, we belong. Wherever it is where we want to be, that's exactly where we belong. And other people might have an opinion about that. So what? I've got opinions about loads of stuff, all of it rubbish. That's other people's opinions about you, about your abilities, about the space that you're taking up. Never apologize for taking up space. Anyway, I hope you find that useful. I just wanted to do a mindset podcast stream today because it's just so important. Of course, we have the masterclass, and we've got another one next week. So if you want to come and find that, it's on danielatta.co.uk/masterclass. You can come and find it and come and join us, and you're going to get 3 nights worth. Or we're doing daytime sessions as well at the moment. Come and join us for that because you'll get some big breakthroughs. Other than that, I hope you have a wicked day.